What's up, guys? It's TheJarvitar, and I'd like to welcome you all to board the copium-filled hype train that is Pokémon Legends ZA, the mysterious new title that was announced in February and that still to this day has yet to be elaborated on. And all we've gotten so far is a minor teaser and a title card. But despite the crumbs that we've been given to chew on, the Pokemon community runs rampant with theories and expectations for what the new game could bring. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are approaching 2 years old, and in that time it's my hope that Game Freak has been cooking up something legendary. Given the season that we're in, major news could drop at any time for the new game, but until then, our imaginations can run wild about ZA and our sudden return to Kalos. It's hard not to join in on the hype. I'm drawn to it like a moth to a flame. It calls to me. So in that spirit, I've been brainstorming some of the major things I'd love to see be a part of Pokemon Legends ZA. Consider this a wish list of sorts, of all the things I'm hoping are part of the latest entry into the Pokemon franchise. But before we strut on in, make sure to hit that like button if Pokemon content like this is what you're into. And if you find yourself staying a while, feel free to subscribe as well. And let me know, what are the things that you most want to see in Pokemon Legends ZA? Okay. Let's talk about one of the cornerstones of Pokemon, the battles. Legends Arceus gave players a very mixed bag when it came to fights in the game. On one hand, they introduced new mechanics in battling that made it less predictable, which honestly can be seen as a bad thing and a good thing. Good in that it was fun to experience, and bad in that I don't want some of those mechanics to persist into the next game. Arceus also simplified many gameplay elements surrounding stats and abilities, so battling truly wasn't as deep as it is in other titles. But what we got alongside that are some of the best in what I believe to be the best fight in the history of Pokemon. Spoilers for Legends Arceus for those of you who have not played it. Game Freak really said, oh, you like getting wrecked by Cynthia? Well, let me give you an even harder Cynthia with two Giratinas. Yeah, this fight is pretty bullshit, but at the same time, it's so friggin' cool. Arceus has some genuinely challenging fights, and I hope that's expanded on going into Legends ZA. Like I mentioned before, one thing that definitely needs to be addressed in relation to that is the battle system. Legends Arceus did simplify many core aspects of team building like natures and abilities, but we have no idea as of the day that I'm recording this whether or not Legends ZA will continue this and make it a standard aspect in Legends games going forward. My hope is that it does not get brought into the next game. I love many of the ways that Legends Arceus innovated on the normal Pokemon formula, but with battles, I'd prefer to stick to the standard that's already present in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. In recent Pokemon projects, namely Legends Arceus and the Indigo Disc DLC for Scarlet and Violet, it seems that the Pokemon Company has made it pretty clear that they know we think their games are too easy. In Legends ZA, I would love if we were treated to more battles than Arceus had, and of a similar caliber as the ones found in the Scarlet and Violet DLC. Like, some of those fights were genuinely hard. It would certainly be hard to match the level of cinematic appeal that Legends Arceus had in its later fights, but regardless, I still would love if ZA could capture that same feeling. It's that Cynthia-pilled masochist in me that desperately wants my Pokemon games to kick my ass, I guess. Give me some high-level battle gauntlets, tournaments, and please can I get online play, I'm begging. Next up, let's talk about something that may as well be confirmed. It is a new Pokemon game, so most likely there's going to be new Pokemon. This could be brand new original Pokemon, new forms of old ones, or even evolutions of old Pokemon. I'm a simple man. I have hardcore nostalgia for Gen 4. So, new evolutions always do it for me. Something about breathing new life into an old favorite just hits different. Legends Arceus gave us bangers like Basculegion and Cleavor, and Scarlet and Violet brought their own like King Gambit and Dunsparce. So, it's likely we may see some come alongside Legends ZA. I think the topic of what Pokemon deserve new evolutions deserves its own video, but just as a teaser, let's consider how incredible it would be to see an old Kalos favorite like Hawlucha get an evolution. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is Kalos that we're talking about, and you can't just casually talk about evolution without mentioning Megas. It's essentially confirmed that we're going to see Mega Evolution play a major role in the game. I honestly hope that means we're done with introducing any new regional battle gimmicks. Let's just say I have opinions on regional battle gimmicks. At any rate, Megas are back, which also most likely means new Megas are going to make a splash. I think it's pretty safe to assume that the Kalos starters will get Megas, but I know what Pokemon you all want to see get a new Mega. And who's that Pokemon again? Let's go, Mega Charizard Z Hype Train! The sad thing is that there's not a single part of me that would be surprised to see that actually happen. I mean, Dragonite is a no-brainer, same with some of the newer ones that didn't get love at the time, and I'm sure we'll see a bunch of old favorites get some love. But I'm telling you, Game Freak, I'm telling you, if you f*** around and make a Mega Flygon, oh! Give me that. Alright. Let's talk about some narrative. Pokemon has had such a strained relationship with story. It's tried so many different approaches. Simple stories in Gen 1 and 2, world-ending calamities in Gen 3 and 4, and a melodramatic JRPG in Gen 5, and so on and so on. I felt that Scarlet and Violet had a story I really could get into. But I'm telling you, man, had they just kept that game in the oven for another year, I've been saying this, if they kept that game in the oven for another year, it would have been the banger. At any rate, the character-driven plots of the DLCs showed me that they were throwing around the idea of a deeper narrative, which excites me. I'm a sucker for a good story, so seeing that come to this game would be incredible. I thought Legends Arceus' story was good, but was held back by their commitment to the setting. My hope is that an expanded setting will see a lot more room to do good character work. And hopefully, given what that setting is, we'll get some answers to some of the broader questions that those of us who have been tuned into the lore have had for a while. I mean, mostly having to do with AZ and the history of the Kalos region. I mean, it could have been answered 10 years ago with Pokemon Z, but here we are. But I'm telling you, Game Freak, you don't have to make a story at all. Just give me Mega Flygon. I'll give you your $60. Now, how could we talk about a new Pokemon game without mentioning one of the most popular gimmicks to come out of the last decade? Regional variants. Easily the most consistent addition introduced lately, I think it's a pretty safe bet to assume that we'll get plenty of these rolling in alongside ZA. Any generation besides Gen 6 is likely to have any one of its Pokemon make a new entrance as a variant. And we also know that thanks to Galarian Meowth, having a regional form already does not necessarily disqualify you from getting another. Regional Charizard, baby! Let's go! And when thinking about other things I'd like to see come to the game, it's hard to really brainstorm because of how little we officially know about the game. I stay away from leaks, so as far as I'm concerned, we're completely in the dark. From the trailer, all we really know for certain is that it takes place in Lumio City in the Kalos region. Is it exclusive to the city? I don't know. Is it in the future or the past? I have zero clue, but we know that the region is a lock. Lumio City is going to be the main focus in whatever capacity that is, and I'm hoping it's going to be huge. The idea of this massive urban environment to explore sounds so unique, and is essentially the complete opposite to Arceus, where urbanization was really just beginning. It makes you wonder how we'll encounter Pokemon though. Like, if there's no wild area, how will we assemble teams? My hope is that there will be plenty of wilderness area outside the city for us to encounter wild Pokemon, but who knows really? The last thing that I certainly want to see more of is my freaking boy Zygarde. Too long has this unsung hero sat in the shadows waiting to be given a chance to shine outside of what is essentially just an exhausting fetch quest in Pokemon Sun and Moon. It was so boring it was immediately replaced in the Ultra games. Zygarde is that guy, so we should see him get some love in this game. I mean, I sure hope we do. It's his game, alongside whatever the A in the name represents. I mean, clearly A is for Absol or, you know, Charizard has 2 A's in it. Could it be Mega Charizard A confirmed? The entire thing has certainly got the hype side of my brain going wild, but of course I'm not totally in deep. There's still a highly skeptical side of me. So I definitely want to talk about at least a couple of things that I don't want to see in this next game. And the first absolute mountain we need to address is visuals. It's no secret that Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet had less than stellar visuals. Arceus was hard carried by its strong art direction and better performance, but Scarlet and Violet looks and plays pretty cooked, which is an incredible shame because I love these games. I'm telling you, they would have been like the best. Legends ZA has been in the oven for longer than either of those games, and it still has time to go. So it is my hope that this time around, we'll be treated to some good visuals and stable performance worthy of the console that they're exclusive to. Well, with all of this premier copium I'm sending straight up into my brain, I feel it's necessary to also talk about some potential negatives. There are plenty of things that could possibly be in ZA that I'm hoping to avoid. First off, I don't like regional evolutions. I'm a day one defender of regional variants, and that I own. I still to this day love them. I said as much earlier. But regional evolutions? I think that they add unnecessary complication to what is already a convoluted Pokedex. And if I get another incredible evolution like Surfetch'd or Cursula that I can't access in any game besides ZA, I'm gonna scream, bro. I probably won't scream this. I'm a grown man and this is a kid's game. But nevertheless, I'm over regional evolutions. Let's get the alternate forms for sure, but keep it 1-to-1. Another thing I am cautious with when it comes to Legends ZA is Mega Evolution. I know, I talked about some of the things that I want out of the mechanic, mainly Mega Flygon, but overall, as a concept, Mega Evolution is just not my favorite. Maybe I'm just butthurt because I strongly dislike Mega Tyranitar, but I think that it adds more problems than it's worth overall, and I'm sure at some point I'll go all in on why that's the case in another video, but for now just think about this. Mega Evolution returning after however long is exciting for a significant amount of fans to the game. It almost certainly will be a central aspect of the game itself, but I hope it's not too central. I'm worried that with something like this to build hype, they could easily use it as an excuse to produce a product that doesn't hit the standard that I'm hoping for. It could be the crutch that prevents us from actually getting a well-rounded game, you know? I'm hoping I'm wrong. When it comes down to it, my excitement heavily outweighs my anxiety. So feel free to board the hype train with me. All in all, I'm unbelievably excited for Pokémon Legends ZA. I'm always going to be excited for the new Pokemon game. And I'm happy that you stopped by this video, and I hope you too are excited to see news come out about Legends ZA. If this type of video was your thing, make sure to give it a like and hit the subscribe button. Alongside that, make sure to comment what are the things that you're most excited to happen in Pokemon Legends ZA, or what are the things that you're not excited about. Also, for some top tier Pokemon TCG content, go subscribe to my brother Jarchomp Collectibles for all things the Pokemon trading card game. And with that, peace out, Pokemon trainers.